Beasties, July is going to be a banger of a month. What's up, Beasties? Welcome back to the channel. It's me, it's Triple B, your friendly neighborhood bearded book beast. Welcome back to the channel. I'm glad you're here. We are nearing the end of the month. In fact, July 1st is fast approaching, so it is time to do my TBR, The Beast Reads, for the month of July 2024. I've got some great ones to talk about. We'll talk about what books I'm going to read, what manga I'm going to read, what graphic novels I'm going to read, and also what you can look forward to coming up on the channel this coming month. And then look out in the next couple of days, I'll do my weekly wrap up, and I'll do my wrap up for the month of June, a full month of reads and what's been going on the channel, a little analytics. Look for all of that in the next couple of days. But today, right now, we are focused on what the Beast will read in July. In celebration of TBR, the Beast Reads, what I will devour in July, I'm wearing my Lego My Ego shirt. Hope you enjoy that. So let's get started with the weekly books that I am going to read. So I'll have 4 books that I'm going to read, 1 per week. And I'll mention some other ones that I'm going to try to sprinkle in, maybe in some reading vlogs, some reading vlog challenges that I'm going to kick off and start doing this month, which is something I'm really excited to do, where I will read a book, and let's say I try to say, oh, I'm going to try to read this book in 24 hours or in 1 day, or how many books can I read in 24 hours? I have an idea for a TBR catch-up, because when I made my June TBR, I made it like it was a full month, even though I knew I was doing it halfway through the month. So I really only had like 2 weeks, and I put like 5 books on there, and I only read 2. So I have a couple books to catch up on, plus all the things I'm going to get in July. So anyway, those are some things we'll talk about as we go. But for my 4 weekly books, I am going to start off the month reading Service Model by Adrian Chajowski. I'm really excited to read this book. I've been excited about it since it came out. I'll read you what the blurb says. Task list. That's a dangerous combination of words. Item number 1. Become self-aware. Meet Charles, the latest in robot servant technology, programmed to undertake the most menial household chores. Charles is loyal, efficient, and logical to a fault. That is, until a rather large fault causes him to murder his owner. Understandably perplexed, Charles finds himself without a master, and therefore worthless in a society utterly reliant on artificial labor and services. Fleeing the household, he enters a wider world he never knew existed. Here, an age-old human hierarchy is disintegrating into ruins, and an entire robot ecosystem devoted to its well-being is struggling to find a purpose. Charles must face new challenges, illogical tasks, and a cast of irrational characters. He's about to discover that sometimes all it takes is a nudge to overcome the limits of your programming. But can he help fix the world? Or is it too badly broken? Service Model. Excited for that one. If you watch some unboxing, I have this beautiful broken binding edition. One more time, just got to show you these in papers. And this naked hardcover. There's Charles right there. Ooh, pretty sweet. Cannot wait to read this one. So we're going to start off with a banger right away. Then after that, I am going to read The Failures by Benjamin Lyer. New book, debut author. It is coming out July 2nd. So I'll read Service Model the first week, get that in, and then I'll be able to read that the next week. Very excited about that one. Group of outcasts, has-beens, trying to save their world. And it just sounds very interesting. Very interesting. I talked about that one in my books I'm most excited for July. So that one sounds like it's going to be really good. And then next up, I am going to be reading The Witchstone by Henry Neff. This was one that I added on my too big TBR for June, even though I really only had a couple weeks. I got this one in, and it looks awesome. Love the cover. It's also got a sweet on the naked hardcover right there. But this one sounds like a lot of fun. It's supposed to be a standalone, kind of an urban fantasy, horror, fantasy mashup. But it sounds really good. I think I'm going to love it, so I hope it does become a series. But standalones are good too. But I really love the sound of this one. I'll read you it real quick. It says, Meet Laszlo. This is Laszlo right here. 800-year-old demon and hell's least productive curse keeper. From his office beneath Midtown, he oversees the Drakeford Curse, which involves a pathetic family upstate and mysterious black monolith. It's a sexy enough assignment. Colonial origins, mutating victims, etc. But Laszlo has no interest in maximizing the curse's potential. He'd rather sunbathe in Ibiza, quaff martinis, and hustle the hustlers on Manhattan subway. Unfortunately, his division has new management, and Laszlo's ratings are so abysmal that he's given 6 days to shape up, or he'll be melted down and returned to primordial ooze. Meet Maggie Drakeford, 19-year-old curse bearer. All she's ever known is the dreary corner of the Catskills where the Drakeford curse has devoured her father's humanity and is rapidly laying claim to her own. The future looks hopeless until Laszlo appears at the Drakeford farmhouse one October night and informs them they have 6 days, and 6 days only, to break the spell before it becomes permanent. Can Maggie trust the glib and handsome Laszlo? Of course not. But she also can't pass up an opportunity to save her family, even if it means having a demon as a guide. So yeah, sounds pretty good. I'm excited about this one. We will be reading this one in July. And then finally, the fourth book of the month that I'm going to be reading, that I'm excited about, is The Book of Elsewhere by China Miéville and Keanu Reeves. Sounds so good. Set in or inspired by the world of Berserker. I think it might have the same main character. The comic that Keanu Reeves wrote and created. We'll get to that in a little bit. But I'm so pumped for it. I've got actually a signed copy that I'm getting through a virtual event where they're going to interview them, talk about the books. You could put questions in to ask them. And then I'm getting a signed by China Miéville and Keanu Reeves. That's just cool. And then I'm also getting a special edition from Waterstones that just looked too good. It's got pink sprayed edges, and it's got end papers and some artwork from the artist that did the comic book. So that looks sweet. I'm just really pumped for that book. And it kind of is a big part of my whole month, which we'll talk about in a little bit. So those are my 4 books that I'll be reading each week. Now you may be wondering, what about Dreadful? Weren't you going to read that one? Did you finish it? No, because I was focused on finishing Dark Lord, How to Become a Dark Lord and Die Trying. So like I said, I'm going to be starting to do some vlog challenges and stuff. So part of that one, Dreadful will be one, the TBR catch up. Going to be doing a vlog where I read this in a set amount of time and then give you my thoughts as I'm reading it and get to see my day-to-day a little bit. And then another one that I didn't get to but want to was Daughter's War. I also have not read Black Tongue Thief, so I'm going to do a blog where I see if I can read Daughter's War and Black Tongue Thief in a certain amount of time and give you my thoughts as I read it. And then finally, another book I was excited about is The Spell Shop. I love cozy fantasy, and I thought I have a lot of cozy fantasy books I haven't got to, so I'm going to do a 24-hour challenge to see how many cozy fantasy books I can read. That one will be fun. So look for all those this month too. We'll see how many of them I get to. We'll see how much I actually read in those. I've never done one before, so we'll see how it goes. But these 4 books I talked about are the main ones I'm going to focus on for this month. All right, so next up, for my tome, I still need to finish Empire of the Vampire. Like I said, I got through my books, and I really wasn't thinking. I'm only about halfway through this book, but I love it. And now that I'm kind of getting in a routine with making YouTube videos and editing and figuring out how to do all that, I still have a long way to go. But getting used to how time-consuming that can be, and trying to divvy up my time between my family and luckily it's summer, so as a teacher I have off, but I do have side hustles I do, and then stuff around the house, my kids, and my wife, all those important things, and then making time for reading. So I'm figuring it out. This is going to be the focus, getting through this first because I'm loving it, and I want to make sure I spend time in this book every day. But then once I do finish that, it's going to be time to move on and start my journey into Stormlight Archives with Way of Kings. Cannot wait. I'm so excited for this one. So I'll be doing that once I finish Empire of the Damned. And then I'm about a third of the way through Warbreaker on audio. Going to keep listening to that. Might bust into this once in a while because this is such a pretty hardcover, but going to keep listening to that through the month because I know that's important for some connections in the Cosmere and Stormlight Archives. So those are my tome that I'm going to read in this month. For my Dabbler, I have been doing Heavenbreaker. I'm going to put this on pause. I'm really enjoying it, and I will finish it. But for this month, because of the whole Book of Elsewhere thing, I have never read any China Mayvel, so my Dabbler I'm going to focus on reading over the first 3 or so weeks of the month to get ready for Book of Elsewhere is Perdido Street Station. I'm going to be reading that on the side. I'm excited. This is the first book in the Basslag series, and I haven't read it and always wanted to, so now is a great time so I can get a feel for his writing before Book of Elsewhere comes out. I also like to dabble in on my my Kindle and physical sometimes in some self-pub stuff. So I'm finishing up Blood and Fire, almost done with that, which is awesome. Loving that. I want to give these authors a shout out because I talked to them on social media and they were super nice. First is Wistful Ascending by J.C. Byrne. Very nice guy. Picked his brain a little bit about this book and his inspirations for it. We talked about comics, and he's just a really nice guy, and this book is awesome. Superheroes in space. He's fighting sentient grizzly bears, grizzly bear aliens, and just has a really cool story. I was just going to read a little bit of it, and I'm actually I read a third of it in one sitting because it was so good. So I'm going to keep reading through that once I finish Blood and Fire here and there. And then also Andrew D. Mayer, what a nice guy. Awesome dude. Talked to him about writing, about his books, and just YouTube. He's very nice, very helpful. And I ordered this book from him. It came in such a nice package. I have on my social media, I posted a picture of it, but great packaging and goodies. But got a signed copy of the first book of Neon Leaf. Has some good dad stuff in it, and I'm really enjoying it. Same thing, I sat down to just check it out, read 5 chapters in one sitting. So these two I'll definitely be reading throughout the month and getting into those two authors' works. I am not going to be focusing on a novella right now because now that I read When Amongst Crows, which I'll talk about in my May wrap-up, I'm going to be focused on, I always want to say Some Like It Darker. You Like It Darker by Stephen King. Going to be reading through these short stories. That's going to be my focus this month. I've been waiting for this one. I'm excited to read these and read some more Stephen King. So those are all my books. My tome, my dabblers, my novellas, and my weekly books. And now we're going to move on to graphic novels and mangas. Getting close to the end of this, I only have a little bit more left. So I'm going to finish that up first. And then after I do that, which I'll probably finish that up today, so I'll probably talk about that on my May wrap-up. But then I am going to, so kind of like I do with books, if I get like a big compendium in from my library or something I really want to read, I'll read it throughout the month. So I have book 2 of Saga. I had book 1. Really enjoyed it. It's kind of a mashup of Romeo and Juliet, Star Wars, a cool fantasy world. It's just all the things I love. It's really good. You know, there's 2 alien species that they're warring against each other, but they fall in love in the middle of it all, and neither side will accept their love, so they end up having a baby, so they go on the run to try to keep their child safe and their love safe, and it's just really good. It's got some good humor. It's dark. It's gory at times. It's got amazing characters. If you have not checked out Saga, you should. It is very good. So I'm going to be reading that throughout the month. And then my other main ones I'm going to be doing is going to continue with Something is Killing the Children, Volume 3. Very excited. Love that series. And then I've always wanted to check out Philadelphia. Haven't talked about this on the channel yet. This is through Image, and it's by Rodney Barnes. But it's vampires. It's got some sweet, dark-looking artwork. I'll tell you what it's about. When a small-town beat cop comes home to bury his murdered father, revered Philadelphia detective James Sangster Sr., he stumbles into a mystery that will lead him down a path of horrors and shake his beliefs to their core. The city that was once the symbol of liberty and freedom has fallen prey to corruption, poverty, unemployment, brutality, and vampires. Now it's up to Jimmy and an unexpected companion to stop long-thought-dead President of the United States John Adams from building an undead army and staging a bloody new American Revolution. There's a reason why you can't go home again. Welcome to Philadelphia. So I'm going to read that. I always want to check that one out. I'm excited to do so. And then, because of Book of Elsewhere, I have the third volume of this too, but I got to pick it up at the library this week. I'm going to read the first 3 volumes of Berserker by Keanu Reeves. Very excited about this one. Like I said, that Book of Elsewhere is set in this world. I haven't read these, so between reading Perdido Street Station to get a feel for China Miéville and get excited, and then reading these to get a feel for this world and Keanu Reeves writing, I'm just really pumped. It's going to be so much fun. I will read to you what Volume 1 of Berserker is about. The man known only as B is half mortal and half god, cursed and compelled to violence even at the sacrifice of his sanity. But after wandering the world for centuries, B may have finally found a refuge, working for the U.S. government to fight the battles too violent and too dangerous for anyone else. In exchange, B will be granted the one thing he desires, the truth about his endless, blood-soaked existence, and how to end it. Whew, that sounds good. And it sounds a lot like Book of Elsewhere. That's why I'm not sure if this is just fleshing out the story more. But we'll see. I'm excited. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm a little worried it is going to be exactly the same. So maybe I shouldn't read these, or maybe I should read these at the same time. I have to decide if I want to read these while I'm reading that or the week before. I'm not sure. We'll see. I'll decide. But then the other thing I'm going to read this month I'm really excited about is Ronin by Frank Miller. I've always wanted to check this out. I love Frank Miller's Dark Knight Returns. I love his work he did on Daredevil. I love Sin City. And I've never read this one. So I'm excited to read it. I will tell you what it's about. Honor never dies. It is the distant past. A great lord of feudal Japan is struck down by an entity of pure evil. A young warrior sworn to vengeance becomes a masterless samurai, a ronin, trapped in an eternal struggle with the demon who killed his master. It is the near future. A great corporation in the urban jungle of New York City is preparing to unleash a deadly new technology. A childlike telepath and a tough-as-nails security commander are the only people who stand in its way. When these two worlds collide, dreams and reality will blur together for a final apocalyptic battle. And at the heart of the chaos, a lone swordsman will face the ultimate test of his fealty. Hoo-hoo. This sounds good. I'm really excited. I think he wrote this right before he did Dark Knight Returns, and it's got, I think it's this, well, I have to see if it's the same author, but I feel like it looks very similar, the art style, to Dark Knight Returns. But yeah, this looks so good. So yes, I've got some awesome ones for graphic novels. Now for mangas. I am starting off the month with Sakamoto Days because I really wanted to read this and I keep pushing it off, reading like sequels and things that come in from the library. But I'm just going to start 4 new things this month that I've been wanting to start, and then I'll just read the sequels as they come on. Sakamoto Days is about, I'll read to you what it says. Ooh, actually, I can't read it to you that good because the library barcode is covering up some of it. But Sakamoto is a former hitman, world-renowned, but then he met someone, fell in love, had a child, started a family, and he gave it all up. And now he's older, he's put on a few pounds, he runs like a grocery store with his family, and he's a family man, but he's getting sucked back into the world. So this sounds really good. Definitely checking that one out first. Then we have Fire Punch. This is orphan siblings Agni and Luna, like the Ice Witch who cursed their world, are two of the blessed humans who hold special abilities. However, not all are blessed or friendly, and after another of their kind attacks Agni and decimates the orphan's village, Agni fights to survive, vowing revenge. I just thought this one looked cool, and I love superheroes. And I haven't read a lot of superhero, you may say. How about another vampire? Souped up by generations of study and refinement, armed with a big pistol loaded with a special silver bullets. That ought to do the trick. But really, what really knocks him dead is the sharp wit, awesome artwork, and crazy bloody action that make up the manga Hellsing. So that one sounds pretty sweet. Then we got Zom 100, zombie post-apocalyptic manga. Looks like it has amazing artwork. Just let me see if I can find a cool one that shows some of these zombies. Oh yeah, looks really cool. It's supposed to be really fun. Love this cover. It says, after spending years toiling away for a soul-crawling company, Akira's life has lost its luster. But when a zombie apocalypse ravages the town, it gives him the push he needs to live for himself. Now Akira is on a mission to complete all 100 items on his bucket list before he, well, kicks the bucket. So yeah, that sounds pretty fun. He's trying to do all the things he always wanted to do in the middle of an zombie apocalypse. So that one's going to be fun. And then if I get through those, I do have more Attack on Titan, more Berserk I want to get through, more One Piece, Chainsaw Man, Tokyo Ghoul. There's just so many I want to read, but I do want to start these 4. I've been wanting to start these 4 for a while, so I will be doing those. So that's everything I'm going to read in July. For as far as the channel goes, it'll be nice to have my first full month coming up to do things. The weekly wrap-ups. I'll do my TBR and monthly wrap-ups. I'll do some more book reviews. Look for Harbinger of Justice by Andrew Watson this week. The Last Pie Hunter by Selene Goldenberg. How to Become the Dark Lord and Die Trying by Django Wexler. Look for reviews for those. Silver Blood Promise by James Logan. All those will be coming up. I'll have some more shorts like Grillin' and Gavin about books. I'll do some more unboxings. I'll do some quick book reviews for books I've read before I started BookTube and start getting those in more. My thoughts on the shows that I watch, all that stuff will continue, but also I'll start to branch out and I'll do some more top 10 lists, some more tier lists, some more series spotlights, and then also some vlogs. I'm excited to do those. I've always wanted to do some, so look for those challenges and stuff. Also some of the thrift store things I've been talking about. You'll start to see some of those. I'm just excited for you to kind of see me step outside of all these just regular YouTube, BookTube videos that I've been doing. Now I'm going to start to do some more fun things that I really want to do. So look for that this month. Like I said, in the next couple days, you'll see a weekly wrap-up, then the wrap-up for June. That's all coming soon. So thank you for being here. If you have not yet, please click that like, thumbs up, and subscribe if you haven't. Helps the channel grow. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you're going to read in July. If you've read any of these, if you're excited about them. And also, just say hello, because I love that. So, until I see you in the next video, devour those TBRs. Be brave, be beautiful to one another, and be beastly. We'll see ya.